Arin had always dreamed of exploring deep space, but he never imagined his mission would lead him to the edge of the most mysterious object in the universe. He was calm by nature, the kind of astronaut who rarely panicked. But today was different. Today, he was floating alone in a silent part of the cosmos where even starlight seemed afraid to shine. The ship around him was quiet, too quiet. The engines hummed weakly, like an old machine trying to take its last breath. Red warning lights flashed across the control panel, but Arin's eyes stayed fixed on the giant dark circle ahead, the black hole. It didn't glow. It didn't move. It simply existed, swallowing the space around it like a mouth that never closed. Just 20 hours ago, this mission was routine. Arin and his team were mapping star activity in a distant part of the galaxy. Nothing strange, nothing dangerous. But then came the message from Earth. Strange signals detected. Investigate coordinates. Arin followed orders. He always did. But the coordinates led him to something far more powerful than a simple signal. They led him to the edge of a black hole, a place no human had ever approached this closely. The rest of the crew had evacuated when the ship took damage. Arin stayed behind to try repairing the navigation system. He told them he would follow, but he never got the chance. A meteor fragment had hit the engine, shutting down the main thrusters. The backup lights flickered like candles in a storm. And now, Arin had drifted into the pull of the black hole slowly but surely. He leaned forward, breathing deeply as he watched the swirling blue and purple gases twisting around the dark center. It looked beautiful, almost peaceful, but he knew the truth. It was deadly. A place where time bent, light curved, and reality itself twisted. Still, Arin couldn't look away. He whispered, "So this is it, the point of no return." His voice echoed softly in the small cabin. It didn't sound scared, just tired, like someone who accepted a fate he couldn't escape. He tapped the screen in front of him. Most systems were offline, but the recording feature still worked. He knew he needed to document what was happening, not for himself, but for history. He turned on the audio recorder. Mission log, day 146. Commander Arin speaking. If anyone hears this, I'm drifting toward the black hole. Engines are gone. Navigation is gone. I don't know how long I have before I reach the event horizon, but I will record everything I see. Maybe it will help someone understand this place. His voice remained steady, but his heart beat faster than usual. Outside the window, the stars looked strange. They seemed to stretch and bend as if something was pulling them toward the center. The ship shook slightly, almost like a warning. Arin held on to a metal bar beside the seat. A soft alarm beeped. Gravitational field increasing, the computer announced in a calm, robotic tone. Arin nodded. I know. He pulled out a small picture from his pocket, a photo of his sister, Lena, the person he missed the most. She had laughed at him the day he left Earth. I'll wait for you, she had told him, but don't take too long, you know I hate waiting. He smiled sadly, tucking the picture back into his suit. I'm sorry, Lena, I might be a little late. The ship creaked again, louder this time. Arin felt the pull getting stronger. His stomach tightened as the ship drifted closer to the swirling horizon. He stared into the black hole, feeling something strange, an emotion he couldn't explain. It wasn't fear. It wasn't excitement. It was something else. A mix of awe and confusion, like standing at the edge of an ancient mystery. Something flashed outside, a burst of white light. Arin leaned closer to the window to see what it was. At first, he thought it was a star, but then he noticed something odd. The light was not moving normally. It stretched like a long ribbon curving around the black hole before disappearing. What was that? Arin whispered. He pressed the record button again. Light is bending around the black hole. It looks like it's being pulled into a long line. I've never seen anything like this. It's strange, almost beautiful. Another flash. This time his own reflection in the glass seemed to twist slightly as if the black hole was bending the light inside his ship. Arin leaned back in his seat, trying to steady his breathing. He knew he needed to stay calm. Panic would only make things worse. But then something unexpected happened. The ship jerked violently. Arin grabbed the controls, but they were useless. The entire cabin shook and the lights flickered uncontrollably. A loud alarm blared, warning structural damage detected. Arin's eyes widened. Not now, come on, he tried to activate the stabilizers. Nothing happened, the controls were dead. The ship spun slowly, giving him a view of the entire space around the black hole. The swirling disk, the accretion disk, glowed like fire. He could see colors he didn't even have names for. Reds mixed with blues, purples twisted into gold. It was like watching a storm made of pure energy. Arin whispered, "How is this even real?" He felt sweat on his forehead even though the cabin was cold. His heartbeat echoed in his ears, another violent shake. This time he was thrown forward, hitting the console. Pain shot through his shoulder, but he pushed himself up, refusing to lose focus. He forced himself to stay calm. "Okay, think, Arin, think." But then he heard something he did not expect, a soft voice. A whisper. At first he thought it was the ship, but the sound didn't come from the speakers. It came from somewhere deeper, like it was inside the ship or inside his mind. "Arin," he froze. The voice whispered again, clearer this time. Arin, his heart stopped for a moment. He looked around the cabin, but he was alone. He swallowed hard. No, that's impossible. But then he heard it again, this time sounding like his sister. "Arin, come home." He squeezed his eyes shut. This can't be happening. He opened them and stared at the black hole again. Something about it felt alive, like it was reaching out to him, pulling him closer not just by force but by presence. He shook his head. "I'm imagining things, it's the stress." He checked the oxygen levels. They were normal, nothing strange, nothing that could cause hallucinations. So why did the black hole feel aware? The ship drifted closer. The gravitational pull grew stronger. Arin tightened his seatbelt, preparing for whatever came next. He realized he had no choice but to continue documenting everything. He pressed record again. "Mission log, I heard something. It sounded like a voice. My sister's voice. I know it doesn't make sense, but I need to note it. Maybe the black hole affects the brain. Maybe it bends signals. I don't know." He exhaled slowly. "Or maybe I'm losing my mind." Another shake hit the ship. Arin tightened his grip on the metal bar. Suddenly, the computer screen flashed with a new message, "Event horizon approaching." Arin stared at the words. His throat went dry. He knew exactly what that meant. He looked out the window again. The black hole seemed even larger now, its edges sharp and glowing faintly. The space around it rippled like a heat wave. He whispered, "This is the unexpected turning point. No going back from here." Inside the cabin, everything grew heavier. Arin felt the pull on his body. His legs felt much heavier than his chest. He pressed his feet down, trying to stay in place. The whispering voice came again, softer this time. "Arin, don't be afraid." He shook his head. "Stop, just stop." He knew fear would break him. He couldn't let that happen. He tapped the recorder once more. "If this is the last part of my journey, then I hope someone finds this. Maybe it will help the next person understand what happens near a black hole. Maybe it will help my sister know I tried." He swallowed, feeling the cabin shake again. "Whatever happens next, I will face it." The ship drifted closer, crossing an invisible line where the pull of the black hole began to grow faster and faster. The lights dimmed. The alarms grew quieter, almost fading into the background. Arin leaned back, staring into the endless darkness ahead. Everything, every star, every memory, every sound seemed to stretch, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. And in that moment, Arin realized something. This was only the beginning. Arin's ship drifted deeper into the strange, glowing darkness surrounding the black hole. The alarms had finally stopped, leaving the cabin filled with an unnatural silence. It wasn't peaceful, no. It felt like the silence you hear before something big happens, something you can't control. Arin slowly unbuckled his seatbelt. The gravity pulling him forward was stronger now, pressing lightly on his chest. Every breath he took felt heavier, like he was inhaling the entire universe, but he steadied himself. Arin was not the kind of man who gave up easily. Still, something about this place felt unreal. Too quiet, too heavy, too wrong. He reached for the control panel again, hoping to find one system still working. Maybe a camera, maybe a communication signal, but all he saw were red symbols flashing across the display, fading in and out like dying fireflies. "Come on," he whispered, tapping the screen. "Just give me something." Nothing. The black hole filled the entire window now. Arin could barely see the normal stars anymore. Everything was wrapped in swirling light, bending and twisting like it was melting. He stepped closer to the window. At first, everything looked familiar, the glowing disk of gas, the swirling colors, the terrifying dark center. But as he watched, something began to change. The colors around the black hole moved in strange patterns, almost like they were forming shapes. Lines, arcs, spirals. It almost looked like writing. Not real writing, but something symbolic, like ancient patterns carved into the sky. Arin blinked hard. This can't be real. But it was happening right in front of him. He quickly switched on the recorder again. Mission log, day 146. The light around the black hole is behaving strangely. I'm seeing shapes, patterns. I don't know if it's my mind playing tricks or if the black hole is bending light into these forms. He paused. What if someone or something is trying to communicate? The moment he said the words, he felt a chill go down his spine. He didn't believe in supernatural things. He believed in science, physics, data. But the universe was full of mysteries no one understood. Black holes were the greatest mystery of all. He walked back to his seat and strapped himself in again. The gravity was changing rapidly now. His feet felt heavier, but his head felt oddly light, like someone was gently pulling him upward. Suddenly the ship jerked again, but this time, it didn't feel like damage. It felt like something pushed the ship sideways, just for a second, a force that didn't make sense. Arin grabbed the handle beside him. What was that? For a moment, the entire cabin flickered between darkness and dim light. The shadows shifted strangely across the walls, stretching and shrinking like they were alive. Then, just for a heartbeat, he saw something impossible. A faint human silhouette standing in the corner of the cabin. Arin froze. His breath caught in his throat. He blinked hard. The silhouette vanished instantly. No, this can't be happening. I'm alone. There's no one here. But had he really seen it, or was it another trick of light? He rubbed his eyes, breathing slowly. Stay calm, Arin, stay calm. He looked out the window again. The patterns outside were brighter now, swirling like a dance. The gas clouds moved like they had purpose. The purple streaks twisted into shapes resembling eyes. Blue rings formed around darker spots like pupils. The black hole was watching him. At least that's what Arin felt. A deep instinct in his chest whispered that this was no simple object. It felt alive, ancient, aware. He pressed the record button again. Something is happening to my perception. Either I'm losing control of my senses or the black hole is causing visual distortions. The lights outside, they seem to follow patterns now, like something is trying to show me something. His voice trembled, but only slightly. He tried his best to stay steady. He stared at the screen in front of him. The navigation system flickered weakly. The coordinates shifted on their own, but then something caught his eye. A new message appeared on the screen. Just one word, hello. Arin's blood ran cold. His fingers hovered over the console. What? Who? Before he could finish, the word disappeared. The screen went black. Arin felt his heartbeat pounding inside his chest. No, that's not possible. The system is offline. There's no way anyone could send a message. Unless he shook his head. He didn't want to finish that thought. He switched off the screen manually, forcing himself to breathe. Focus, Arin. He needed to understand the situation. He wasn't dead. He wasn't dreaming. He wasn't hallucinating yet. The gravitational pull was increasing. The computer voice, distorted and glitching, spoke again. Approaching event horizon, the ship creaked loudly. A metal panel fell from the ceiling, crashing to the floor. Arin flinched. A long crack formed on the left side of the ship's wall, not enough to let air escape but enough to show the structure was weakening. He swallowed hard. If more pieces break, I'm done. He tried to think of solutions, but the black hole's pull made everything harder. His mind felt slow, his thoughts stretched out, almost echoing. He leaned back and closed his eyes for a moment, but the moment he shut them, he heard something again, a voice, but clearer, stronger. Arin, his eyes flew open. "Stop, who's there?" The voice didn't respond directly. Instead, it whispered, "You're not alone." He shook his head in frustration. "Great, I'm talking to a black hole now." He looked outside again, and that's when he saw it, a shape, far larger than the earlier silhouette. Something massive moved inside the swirling disk of gas. Not a ship, not debris, something alive. It slid through the glowing gases like a gigantic shadow. Long, smooth, serpent-like. It had no clear form, just a silhouette against the turbulent colors. Arin stared, muscles freezing. It moved slowly, silently, watching him. His voice cracked as he whispered, "Is that real?" Before he could fully process, the creature, or shadow, faded back into the swirling light, as if the black hole swallowed it. He leaned forward, breathing heavily. He turned on the recorder again. His voice shook, but he tried to remain steady. "Mission log, I saw something, a shape, a living shape. I don't know what it was, but it moved like it had intelligence. It disappeared into the accretion disk." He looked down at his shaking hands. "I think the black hole is not empty. I think something is inside it." He rubbed his face with both hands, trying to clear his thoughts. He had been trained for extreme gravity. He had trained for engine failure, but nothing in his career had prepared him for this. The light outside flickered again, then suddenly turned bright white, almost blinding. Arin covered his eyes, but through his fingers he saw something impossible, a glimpse of Earth. Just for a moment, only a second, the blue oceans, the white clouds, the continents, perfectly clear as if he were right above it. Then the image vanished. What's happening? The black hole was showing him things. Impossible things. His sister's voice, strange creatures, messages on the console, visions of Earth. Why? Was it trying to communicate, warn him, confuse him, or was it ripping apart his sense of reality? He gripped the controls again, but the ship jerked violently, pulling him forward. His back slammed into the seat. "Gravity spike," he shouted. The computer's voice glitched. "Event horizon imminent." He felt the pull deep inside his bones. His legs felt like they weighed twice their normal weight. His fingers trembled. He stared at the swirling light one more time. The patterns had changed again. Now they formed a clear shape, a doorway, a long vertical slit of light glowing purple and white. The ship drifted closer to it, too close. "No, no, 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 stop, stop." He fought the controls. Nothing responded. The ship drifted directly toward the glowing doorway in the swirling gas. Arin felt something strange, like time itself slowed down around him. His heartbeat became louder, deeper, almost echoing. He knew this moment would decide everything. And then his ship crossed into the glowing slit. There was a blinding flash, the sound of the universe collapsing into silence, a sudden weightless moment, and then nothing, just blackness. Arin floated inside it, unable to tell if he was awake or dreaming. But he felt something, a presence, close, quiet, watching. Then a voice whispered one last time, "Welcome to the other side." Arin did not know how long he had been unconscious. It might have been seconds or hours or something far stranger. Time inside the black hole felt like a broken clock, its hands spinning without direction, without rhythm, without rules. His body felt weightless, as if the universe around him had stopped moving. No sound, no light, no sense of direction, only a thick darkness that felt alive, almost like it pressed against his skin. Arin slowly opened his eyes. At first he thought he was blind. Everything looked pitch black. But then he noticed something, tiny specks of silver floating around him like dust shining under moonlight. They drifted gently, glowing softly, almost like they were curious about him. He reached out his hand. A cluster of silver particles moved toward his palm as if drawn by his presence. They swirled around his fingers in slow circles. He whispered, "Where am I?" His voice didn't echo. It vanished instantly like the darkness swallowed his words. He tried to move, but there was no up or down here. He simply floated in the silent void. He looked around, searching for his ship, but it was gone. No metal walls, no control panels, no cracked screens. Nothing. He was alone, or was he? A faint vibration traveled through the space around him. Not sound, not movement, just a feeling, a presence, like someone else was breathing nearby, even though he could see no one. Arin's heartbeat grew faster. Then out of the darkness, a soft glow appeared in front of him, slowly expanding from a tiny point to a large circle of light. Its edges rippled like the surface of water. Blue, white, purple colors mixed gently, forming waves of energy. Arin stared, eyes wide. Is that a portal? The glowing circle pulsed once, as if answering him. He floated closer, drawn by an invisible force. As he approached, the rippling glow began to reveal shapes behind it, shadows, movements, flashes of landscapes. He saw a desert, then a forest, then a vast ocean, then stars. It was like the portal was showing him different worlds, one after another, shifting like pages in a book. Arin whispered to himself, "Is this real? Am I seeing other places, other dimensions?" The portal flashed brighter than before. Suddenly, Arin felt something behind him, a cold presence, a whisper of movement. He turned quickly. Nothing, only darkness, but then something touched his leg. He jerked away, spinning slightly. His breathing quickened. A shape formed behind him, not fully visible, just an outline of light. Tall, thin, moving slowly. The figure came closer. Arin's voice trembled. "Who are you?" The figure did not speak. Instead, its form shifted like smoke in a breeze. The edges of its shape shimmered, showing faint details, long arms, a narrow head, and eyes that glowed softly like blue stars. Arin instinctively floated backward, but the figure did not chase him. It simply observed. Its glowing eyes seemed calm, not threatening, not angry, just watching. Arin swallowed hard. "You can hear me, can't you?" The figure tilted its head like someone trying to understand a new sound. Arin took a slow breath. "Where am I? What is this place?" The figure remained silent for a few seconds. Then a voice echoed inside Arin's mind, not spoken out loud but clear. "Between worlds." Arin froze. The voice was deep and smooth, neither male nor female. It felt ancient, timeless. He whispered, "You're speaking in my mind. Your language is inside you, we only reflect it." Arin's skin prickled. There are more of you." The figure slowly raised one arm, pointing toward the glowing portal. Arin turned to look. The portal expanded, twice its size now, and behind its surface he saw shapes, many shapes, moving like shadows beneath water. Tall beings, small ones, forms he couldn't define. Some had wings, some glowed, some looked almost human. Arin whispered, "Are these your people?" The figure replied, "Not people, not beings. Possibilities." Arin tried to understand. Possibilities. The voice in his mind grew clearer. This place is a boundary, a bridge, a passage between realities. Few enter, fewer return. Arin's heart pounded in his chest. "Am I dead?" The glowing figure stepped closer until its face, if it had one, was only inches away. Its eyes glowed brighter. Not dead, not alive. Changing. Arin felt a cold wave run through his body. The figure lifted one of its long hands slowly, not threatening, delicate, almost gentle. It touched Arin's chest with a single finger. Instantly, memories flashed through Arin's mind. His childhood, his first day at the academy, his sister Lena laughing and holding his neck, his ship, the black hole, the moment he crossed the glowing slit. Then the memories expanded, showing things he had never seen. A massive star exploding in slow motion. A planet made of crystal mountains, a city floating above clouds, stars being born, space bending like cloth. Arin gasped and pushed backward, shaking. What was that? The figure drifted back as well, a glimpse. Arin steadied his breathing. The portal behind him glowed even brighter. The shapes inside it became more visible, moving calmly as if swimming through light. Some of them looked familiar, like ancient creatures from myths. Others were completely alien. Arin noticed something strange. The portal was pulling him toward it, gently, slowly, like a soft tide. He waved his arms, trying to stay in place, but there was nothing to grab onto. "Wait, stop, I'm not ready." The glowing figure reached out again, placing its hand on his arm. Instantly, the pull weakened. Arin's breathing slowed. He whispered, "Why did you help me?" This time the figure moved closer and spoke more clearly in his mind, "Because you are not meant to cross yet." Arin frowned. "What happens if I cross?" A long silence. The figure changed form for a moment, its shape flickering like a flame. Then the answer came, "You will stop being you." Arin's blood turned cold. He whispered, "What do you mean?" Again the figure turned its head slightly, as if searching for the right words. "Beyond the bridge, identity dissolves, form changes, thought merges, time ends." Arin shook his head. No, I don't want that. I want to go home." The figure's eyes dimmed slightly. Home, the word echoed inside Arin's mind. A simple desire, yet difficult here. Arin floated closer to it, desperation in his voice. "Please help me, I don't want to lose myself." The figure reached out its hand again, placing it on Arin's forehead. The touch was cold but calming. A new sensation washed through him, warmth, clarity, understanding. Then the figure spoke. "There is a way, but it requires strength." Arin tightened his jaw. "Tell me what I need to do." The figure motioned toward the center of the dark void. As Arin turned, he saw it, a faint white crack in the darkness, a tear in space, small but glowing. Arin frowned. "What is that?" "A return point," the figure answered, "a path back to your universe." Arin's heart raced. "So I can go home?" The figure floated behind him. "Yes, but the crack is unstable. It will close." Arin didn't waste another second. He began to swim, or whatever motion worked here, toward the glowing crack. His arms cut through the dark space easily. But as he moved closer, he felt resistance. Like invisible waves pushing him back. He struggled, pushing harder. The glow dimmed slightly. "No, stay open," Arin shouted. The crack flickered. Suddenly he felt something behind him, a cold wind, a whisper. He turned. The tall, glowing figure was no longer alone. 3 more had appeared, soft shapes of light, all watching him. One stepped forward and spoke in his mind, "We can hold the crack, but only for a short time." Arin nodded, breath shaking. "Do it." The first figure raised its arm, the others joined it, their glowing bodies bright and pulsing energy into the crack. The white tear widened. Arin pushed forward again, harder, stronger. He was close now, so close. He reached out with his hand, and then he heard it, a familiar voice. "Arin," he froze. The voice was soft, gentle, filled with emotion. He turned. His sister Lena stood behind him, her face glowing softly, her hair floating like she was underwater, her eyes full of warmth. Arin felt tears fill his eyes. "Lena, how?" She smiled. "Don't leave me." Arin's heart cracked. He reached toward her, but then he remembered this place shows illusions, memories, visions. He pulled his hand back slowly. "You're not real," he whispered. The smile on Lena's face faded. The glow dimmed. Her form flickered. Then she vanished like smoke blown away by wind. Arin wiped his eyes, breathing shakily. He turned back to the crack. The glowing figures were trembling now, struggling to keep it open. Arin whispered, "I'm coming." He gathered every bit of strength he had left and pushed forward with all his might. The crack grew brighter, the pull grew stronger. Arin shouted, and with one final push, he crossed through. Bright white light swallowed him whole, and the silence broke. Bright white light swallowed Arin the moment he crossed through the glowing crack. It was so intense that he couldn't see his own hands. His mind felt stretched, pulled in every direction. His heartbeat slowed, then raced, then slowed again. It was like his body was trying to adjust to a reality it had never experienced before. Then the light faded, and Arin opened his eyes. He was lying on solid ground, actual ground. He blinked several times, struggling to understand. The dark, silent void was gone. The glowing figures were gone. The crack was gone. Instead, he found himself in a world that looked impossible. The sky above him was a deep violet mixed with shimmering silver clouds. Two suns, one white, one golden, hung side by side in the sky. The ground beneath him felt warm like polished stone. Strange plants grew in spirals around him, glowing softly as if they had their own inner light. Arin pushed himself up slowly. Where am I?" he whispered. He was breathing normal air, real air. He tested it, taking slow breaths. It smelled clean, almost sweet, like fresh rain. His helmet was cracked open, but somehow he was still alive. He looked around. The landscape stretched endlessly. Blue crystal mountains glowed at the horizon. A river of light, literally light, flowed nearby, moving like liquid energy. This wasn't Earth, not any planet he knew, but it also wasn't the void between worlds. He was somewhere else entirely, a place that shouldn't exist. Arin stood up, brushing glowing dust from his suit. Everything felt different here, lighter, almost dreamlike, but real enough to touch. His voice trembled. "I need to find someone, something, anyone." As he walked forward, the ground lit up softly under his boots, forming a trail of light, like the planet was reacting to him. Arin shook his head in disbelief. "This isn't possible," he kept moving, following a distant sound, a faint hum like music carried on wind. The more he walked, the more the world shifted around him. Trees shimmered with colors he couldn't name. Their branches moved on their own like they were alive, not in a scary way, more like curious observers. One tree leaned toward him, its leaves sparkling. Arin froze. Slowly, he reached out his hand and touched a leaf. The leaf glowed brighter and made a soft chime, like tiny bells ringing. Arin laughed softly, even though fear still sat heavy in his chest. "This is insane." He took a deep breath and continued forward. After a few minutes, the landscape changed again. The glowing river curved into a wide, open valley, but this valley was different. Something stood at its center, a structure, tall, elegant, almost like a tower made of glass and light. It rose into the sky with swirling patterns on its surface. None of the architecture looked human. Arin felt his heart race. Maybe someone lives here. He walked faster, stepping through soft grass that lit up under his feet. As he approached the tower, he heard something, a soft whisper carried on the wind, a voice. Not in his head this time, a real voice. Arin, he froze, his blood turned cold. He turned slowly. Standing behind him on a small hill was a figure, a woman. Her hair was long and glowing like silver threads. Her eyes were bright blue, calm but intense. She wore a long robe that shimmered with every movement. Arin stared, unable to speak. She stepped closer, her movement almost floating. "You finally arrived," she said softly. Arin's voice cracked. Who are you?" The woman smiled gently as if she had been expecting that question. "I am Elira." He didn't know what to say. She didn't look human, but she didn't look alien either. Something in her face felt familiar. Arin finally managed to speak. "Where am I?" Elira's eyes softened. "You are in the Veil realm, a place that exists between universes." Arin shook his head. "Impossible. I crossed a crack to return home. The glowing beings told me. They helped," Elira said. "But your path was changed, pulled, redirected. By what?" Elira tilted her head. "By the singularity." Arin felt a chill, the black hole. Elira nodded slowly. "Yes, but not just a hole, a consciousness." Arin took a step back. No, that's not possible. Black holes don't think, they don't choose." Her eyes glowed brighter. "You crossed its event horizon, you survived what others cannot, it made a path for you." Arin swallowed hard. "Why me?" Elira walked closer and placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Because you are the key." Arin froze. "Key to what?" She looked into the distance, toward the glowing mountains. To balance, to connection, to understanding. Arin felt his chest tighten. "I don't understand." "You will," Elira said softly, "but first you must see." She extended her hand. Arin hesitated, but something inside him, some deep instinct, told him to trust her. He placed his hand in hers. Instantly, the world around him changed. Colors blurred, sounds faded. The sky twisted, and suddenly he was standing inside the tower. Huge windows stretched to the ceiling, showing the violet sky outside. Floating crystals circled the room like planets around a star. A giant sphere stood at the center of the hall. It glowed with swirling lights, showing galaxies, stars, and worlds. Elira waved her hand. The sphere zoomed inward. Arin gasped. He saw Earth, clear and beautiful, but then the image shifted, zooming further down, showing the black hole he fell into. Elira spoke gently. "That black hole is not a destroyer, it is a bridge." Arin stared, stunned. "Bridge to where?" Elira gestured around her. "To here, to everywhere." The sphere zoomed again, showing other realms, places with floating islands, places with red oceans, places made only of light. Arin couldn't breathe. He whispered, "This is multiverse." "Yes," Elira said, "and you crossed it." Arin shook his head. Why me?" Elira looked into his eyes. "Because your mind could survive crossing. You saw the truth. You did not break." Arin's legs felt weak. Everything felt unreal. He took a shaky breath. "I want to go home." Elira nodded. "I know, and you will." Arin felt relief wash over him until Elira spoke again. "But not yet." His relief shattered. "What do you mean not yet?" Elira stepped closer. "There is something coming, something that will break the balance of universes. The singularity chose you. You were not brought here by accident." Arin's voice shook. "What is coming?" Elira looked at the glowing sphere, her face suddenly serious. "Darkness." Arin frowned. "Another black hole." "No," Elira said quietly. "Something older, something that eats worlds from the inside, not by gravity but by corruption." Arin felt a cold chill crawl across his skin. Elira continued, "It has awakened, and only someone who crossed the singularity can stop it." Arin shook his head violently. "No, I'm just an astronaut. I'm not a hero. I don't know how to fight anything." Elira placed a hand on his chest. "You don't need to fight. You only need to choose." "Choose what?" Elira stepped back and the tower lights dimmed. "To stay and help us." Her eyes glowed softly. "Or return home, but alone forever." Arin froze. "Forever?" he whispered. Elira nodded slowly. "The path back to Earth will close for all time once you leave. You will never come back here, never know the truth of the multiverse, never touch this realm again." Arin felt his heart racing. "So I must choose between home and this place." "No," Elira said gently. "You must choose between safety and destiny." Arin's breath caught in his throat. The world around him hummed like it was waiting. The tower lights glowed softly. Elira stood in front of him, calm and patient, and Arin felt the weight of 1,000 worlds on his shoulders. The choice he made now would change everything. Arin stood inside the Tower of Light, frozen between two impossible choices. Elira watched him with calm, patient eyes. Outside the tall windows, the violet sky shimmered with two suns that slowly drifted across the horizon. The entire world seemed to be holding its breath, waiting for Arin's decision. He swallowed hard. Home. Earth, his sister Lena, his life, his memories, or this strange realm that should not exist. Elira stepped closer, her footsteps silent against the shining floor. "You must decide, Arin," she said softly. "The crack you crossed is closing fast. Your path back will soon be gone." Arin looked down at his trembling hands. He felt like someone standing between two cliffs, each one promising something different. He wanted to scream. He wanted to cry. He wanted to turn back time and never come near the black hole, but he couldn't. He looked up at Elira. "If I choose to stay, what do you expect me to do?" Elira moved her hand across the sphere floating at the center of the room. Galaxies spun, stars shifted, worlds flickered. "We expect only one thing from you," she said. "Understanding." Arin frowned. "Understanding what?" Elira's eyes glowed brighter. "Your own truth." Arin felt frustration rising. "I don't know what that means." She didn't react. Instead, she walked toward a wide archway that led deeper into the tower. "Come," she said gently. "There is something you must see." Arin hesitated, then followed. The hallway beyond was long and glowing. Curved walls shimmered like they were made of living crystal. As they walked, Arin noticed shadows moving inside the walls, not dangerous, not frightening, more like memories drifting. Elira led him into a massive circular chamber. Arin froze. Floating in the center of the chamber was a massive black sphere, not a real black hole, something symbolic, something shaped like one. Its surface pulsed with slow waves of light. Around it, hundreds of tiny threads of glowing energy extended outward in every direction like strings. Elira spoke quietly. "This is the heart of the veil." Arin walked closer, mesmerized. Each glowing thread showed images: a child playing with glowing water, an alien sky burning during a war, a human city at night, a giant creature swimming through stars, a lonely moon drifting through endless space. Arin whispered, "These are these worlds." "Yes," Elira said, "every world, every universe, every timeline." Arin stared, unable to breathe. She stepped beside him. "You see the connections, but you don't yet see the danger." Arin looked at her sharply. "The darkness you mentioned." Elira nodded. She raised her hand and touched one of the glowing threads gently. Instantly, the image inside the thread flickered, showing a beautiful planet covered in forests, oceans, blue skies, then suddenly turning black, black from inside. The plants withered. The oceans boiled. Creatures screamed. The sky cracked open like broken glass. Arin stepped back. "What happened?" Elira touched another thread. More images appeared: a city destroyed, a sun dimming, light collapsing. "This is the corruption," Elira said quietly. "A force older than stars. It does not destroy by force, it destroys by hunger." Arin swallowed. "What does it eat?" Elira looked directly into his eyes. "Life, time, memory, meaning." Arin felt cold. "And it's coming here." "It is everywhere," Elira whispered. "In all universes, in all worlds, it spreads like a silent shadow." Arin shook his head. "But what can I do? I'm just a human. I'm not a warrior or a scientist or some kind of savior." Elira stepped closer until she stood just inches from him. "Arin, you crossed the singularity and survived. No human has done that. Do you understand what that means?" Arin didn't answer. "It means," she continued, "your mind is not bound by one universe anymore. You can see things others cannot, feel things others cannot. You are connected to everything." Arin felt dizzy. "I didn't ask for that." "Great destinies rarely ask our permission," Elira whispered gently. He walked away from her, running a hand through his hair. He needed space. He needed to think. He leaned against the glowing wall and stared at the black sphere in the center of the room. Elira's voice echoed behind him. "You stand at the crossroads of all realities. If you choose to return home, the multiverse will continue without you, but the corruption will also continue." "And if I stay," he whispered, "then you will learn to navigate the veil," she said. "You will learn to see the invisible paths between worlds. You will learn to break the corruption from inside." Arin closed his eyes. The weight of her words felt like entire planets resting on his shoulders. He whispered, "I don't know if I'm strong enough." Elira placed her hand on his back. "You are," she said, "because fear is not weakness. It is proof that you understand the cost." He looked up at her. Her face was calm, warm, full of something strange, something almost human. "Let me show you something else," she said. She led him to another chamber. This one was smaller, quiet, dim. At the center lay a pool of glowing water, shimmering like liquid starlight. "What is this?" Arin asked. Elira knelt beside it. "This is the memory pool. It shows truths, even the ones you hide from yourself." Arin knelt beside her, staring into the glowing water. At first he saw nothing, just ripples of silver. Then images appeared. He saw himself as a child running through the garden behind his house. He saw his mother chasing him, laughing. He saw his sister Lena hugging him tightly. He saw his first day at school, his first failure, his first success. Then the images changed. He saw himself late at night, staring at the stars outside his bedroom window, wanting more, dreaming of more, feeling like Earth was too small for him. Arin blinked. "I never told anyone that." "You didn't need to," Elira said softly. "The universe listens even when you stay quiet." The pool showed another memory. Arin sitting alone after graduation, everyone celebrating. Arin staring at the sky again, feeling something calling him, something deep, something distant. Arin whispered, "I always felt like something was waiting for me." "That is because the singularity chose you long ago," Elira said. The water shifted again. Now it showed Earth, but something was wrong. The sky turned black, buildings cracked, people ran, time itself slowed, the world froze. Arin gasped. "This is the corruption touching your world," Elira whispered. Arin stood up suddenly. No, that can't happen, I won't let it." Elira stood too. "Then you know your choice." Arin stared at her, home or destiny, Earth or the multiverse, his sister or every universe in existence. He pressed his hands against his head, shaking. "This isn't fair," he whispered. "No," Elira said softly, "but truth rarely is." The world around him began to shimmer. The suns outside dimmed, the tower lights flickered, something pressed against the walls of reality, a dark wave, silent but powerful. Elira's expression changed. "It has found us," she whispered. Arin turned sharply. "What has?" Elira touched the wall, a dark crack appeared, growing slowly. "The corruption," she said, "it is already here." Arin's heart raced. He looked at Elira, he looked at the crack, then he looked at the memory pool showing Earth dying. His breathing grew heavy. He didn't want this, he never asked for this. But if he didn't act, everything would end. He looked at Elira. "I'll stay," he whispered. "I'm not running away." Elira closed her eyes slowly, relief washing across her face. "Then your journey begins now," she said. The tower shook. The crack widened. Darkness seeped through like ink. Elira raised her hands, her body glowing brightly. She turned to Arin. "Are you ready?" Arin clenched his fists. "No," he said honestly, "but I'll go anyway." And the tower exploded with light. Light exploded through the tower, blinding Arin for a moment. He threw his arm over his face as the shockwave rippled across the crystal walls. Elira stood tall in the middle of the chaos, her body glowing brighter than before, like she had become a shield made of pure starlight. But even her glow wasn't enough to hide the horror taking shape on the far wall. The dark crack widened, slowly, silently, like a wound opening in the skin of reality. Black liquid shadows dripped from it, sliding across the glowing floor like ink spreading through water. The air around it grew colder. The tower hummed violently, as if its ancient structure feared what was emerging. Arin backed away instinctively. "What is that?" he whispered. Elira turned her glowing eyes toward him. "The corruption." The crack pulsed again, releasing a low rumble like the growl of something enormous. Arin swallowed, feeling his heartbeat pounding in his ears. It wasn't just darkness. It felt alive. It felt hungry, and it felt like it was watching him. A tendril of shadow slipped out of the crack, slithering across the floor. It stretched forward like a hand searching blindly in the light. Elira raised her palms toward it, and a wave of bright energy pushed the shadow back. But it didn't disappear. It simply paused, then began creeping forward again. Elira whispered urgently, "It adapts, it learns, we must move." Arin nodded quickly. "Where do we go?" Without answering, Elira grabbed his wrist. The touch felt warm, comforting, even in the middle of chaos. She pulled him toward the exit of the chamber. The tower around them groaned as cracks spread across its walls. Arin glanced back over his shoulder and froze. The tendril of darkness lifted from the floor, pointed toward him, and formed a shape, a face. A rough, shifting, nightmare face made of black smoke. It spoke, not with a voice, but directly inside Arin's mind. Arin stumbled backward, trembling. Elira dragged him forward. "Don't listen to it," she shouted, for the first time raising her voice. But Arin couldn't ignore it. The darkness knew his name. He shouted over the noise, "Why does it know who I am?" Elira didn't answer yet. She pulled him through another curved hallway as the tower shook violently. The glowing walls flickered like dying flames. Behind them, the dark tendril split into 2, then 4, then 8, all racing toward them like silent snakes. Elira stopped at a circular door and placed her hand on it. A symbol formed under her palm, glowing bright blue. The door opened with a heavy sigh, revealing a long spiral staircase descending into deep shadows. Arin looked at her nervously. Down into the dark. Elira nodded. This is the only path it cannot follow easily. They rushed down the stairs. With each step, the temperature changed. The air became heavier, warmer, almost humid. Arin felt his palms sweating. "What is this place?" he asked breathlessly. Elira replied softly, "The foundation of the Veil realm, the oldest part of this world, built long before my time." Arin heard another rumble above them, a deeper, angrier one. He didn't want to look up. He didn't want to see the shadow that knew his name. They reached the bottom of the staircase. The hallway here was narrower, older, made of cracked stone instead of glowing crystal. The walls pulsed faintly, as if veins of energy ran through them. Elira guided him forward until they reached a massive chamber with a single stone pedestal at the center. A small object hovered above the pedestal, a clear, floating crystal that rotated slowly. Elira placed her hand over it. Instantly, the chamber lit up with swirling lights. Arin shielded his eyes. "What is this?" he asked, confused. Elira whispered, "The Nexus crystal." "What does it do?" Elira looked at him seriously. "It connects minds to worlds, and it reveals truths hidden inside." Arin felt a shiver run through him. "Why are we here?" Before she could answer, the chamber shook violently. The shadows had found them. A thick, massive tendril punched through the wall like a spear. Another followed, then a dozen more. They twisted and merged into a towering shape, a figure rising from the floor. A colossal silhouette made of pure darkness. Its eyes glowed red. It stepped forward. Arin felt paralyzed as the figure spoke directly into his mind. "You do not belong here." Arin clutched his head, pain surging through him. He fell to his knees. Elira rushed to him, pulling him away from the tendril. "Arin, listen to me," she said urgently. "You are connected to it." Arin gasped for breath. "Connected? How?" "Because you crossed the singularity," she said. "You went through the heart of a black hole. You touched something only ancient beings have touched." Arin stared at her, horrified. "So this thing, it's after me." "It wants you," Elira whispered, "because you are a bridge, a living doorway." Arin felt cold sweat dripping down his face. A bridge, a doorway. The dark figure stepped closer. Reality rippled beneath its feet. It spoke again, its voice like knives inside his skull. "Come with me." Elira stepped between them, raising both hands. "No, he is not yours." The shadow lifted an arm. A blast of black energy shot toward her. Arin lunged forward instinctively. "Elira." But Elira caught the darkness with both hands. The collision shook the chamber, sending cracks through the stone. Her arms trembled, her glow flickered. Arin could see she was struggling. The shadow pressed harder. Elira screamed in pain. Arin's heart tore inside him. "No, stop, leave her alone." Something inside Arin snapped. He felt a surge of heat spreading through his chest, then through his entire body. His vision blurred. The chamber shook harder as a wave of energy burst from him. The shadow staggered back. Elira collapsed to one knee, breathing heavily. Arin stood staring at his own hands. They were glowing, not white like Elira's, but blue, a deep, electric, powerful blue. Elira stared at him in disbelief. "You awakened it." Arin trembled. "Awakened what?" "The singularity inside you," she whispered. "The energy you took when you crossed the black hole." Arin shook his head violently. "I didn't take anything. The singularity chose you," Elira said, "and now its power is waking up." The shadow figure straightened itself again. Its voice echoed, "You are mine." Arin felt rage rising inside him. "No, I'm not." He raised his glowing hands toward the shadow, and something happened. The air around his fingers bent. The floor vibrated. A wave of blue energy shot from him, wild, uncontrolled, but powerful. It slammed into the shadow, throwing it back against the chamber wall. The walls cracked deeper. The shadow screamed, not in pain, but in frustration. Unfinished. Then the shadow vanished into the stone like smoke pulled through cracks. Silence followed. Arin collapsed to the floor, breathing hard, his hands still faintly glowing. What did I just do?" he whispered. Elira knelt beside him, her voice gentle. "You defended yourself, and you proved something important." Arin looked up at her with exhausted eyes. "What?" She held his glowing hands in hers. "You are strong enough to face what is coming." Arin's chest tightened. "What now?" Elira stood and pointed at the Nexus crystal hovering above the pedestal. "You must see the full truth," she said, "not just of the multiverse, but of yourself." Arin stood slowly. The chamber shook faintly again, as if the shadow was still nearby. Searching, Elira nodded toward the crystal. "Touch it, Arin." He hesitated, trembling. "But what will it show me?" Elira whispered, "Everything." Arin took a deep breath. Then he reached out and touched the crystal. The world vanished in a blaze of white. When Arin touched the Nexus crystal, the world did not simply change, it dissolved. The chamber, the glowing stone walls, Elira's presence, even the ground beneath his feet, all vanished into a storm of shifting colors. The white light swallowed everything, stretching his senses beyond anything he had ever known. Arin tried to scream, but there was no air. He tried to pull his hand away, but he had no hands. He wasn't falling or floating, he simply wasn't. He no longer had a body. No suit, no limits, only awareness. Endless, terrifying awareness. Then slowly shapes began forming in the light. A child, a planet, a star. A galaxy unfolding like a blooming flower. A black hole spinning like a living heartbeat. Voices whispered through the white expanse, millions of voices overlapping, echoing, crying, laughing, shouting. Arin forced himself to think, to remember who he was. "I'm Arin," his mind insisted, but the light pushed deeper, showing him things he had never seen, a universe collapsing, another beginning, time looping and rewriting itself, worlds born from the ashes of old ones. Then a different vision, Earth. Beautiful, familiar Earth. He saw cities glowing at night, clouds drifting peacefully, children laughing, his sister Lena texting him late at night telling him to come home soon. Arin felt his heart ache, but the vision darkened. He saw a massive shadow engulfing the sky, buildings cracking, people running, time slowing as darkness crawled over their world like ink. Arin felt anger, fear, panic. Then another image appeared of himself, floating, not in space, but inside the singularity. His body stretched between universes. His mind split across timelines, his heart beating in two different realities at once. He felt like he was reliving the moment he fell toward the black hole, but now he saw what happened behind the scenes. He saw the singularity respond to him, not as a force of nature, but as an intelligence, a presence. A glowing consciousness shaped like a swirling star, watching him, choosing him. Arin tried to pull away. No, this isn't right. The white light tightened around him like a fist. "See," a deep voice whispered. Suddenly he saw another version of himself, standing on a cliff overlooking mountains, laughing with Lena, growing old, living a normal life. That was a timeline where he didn't join the space mission. The light shifted again, showing another version. Arin trapped inside the black hole forever, lost, silent. His body stretched thin like dust. Another version. He died before reaching the singularity. Another. He returned to Earth too early and was never believed. Arin's mind struggled to hold the countless versions of himself. What is happening to me?" The voice whispered again, deep and ancient. "You are not one, you are many." Arin felt the universe shake around him. "You walk between worlds because you exist in many." "No," Arin whispered. I'm just an astronaut." The light brightened sharply. "You are more. You always were." Then a flash, a memory he did not recognize, a baby being born under unusual stars. Doctors confused by strange energy readings. A young Arin staring at the night sky as if remembering something. A teenager dreaming of a black hole long before he knew what it was. A young adult feeling drawn to space as if answering a call. None of these memories felt human. Arin whispered, terrified, "What am I?" The white light pulsed softly. A connection, a bridge, a mind born in one universe tuned to all. Arin wanted to run, he wanted to disappear, he wanted the truth to stop, but the crystal wasn't finished. New images appeared, this time darker. He saw the corruption not as shadowy tendrils but as its true form, a mass of collapsing timelines, a creature made of fractured realities, a living void born from universes that died too quickly. The corruption consumed worlds by entering their memories, by erasing meaning, by removing identity from living beings. It spread like a disease of existence. Arin trembled. Why me? Why am I connected to this thing? The voice answered, you are the only one it cannot erase. The words echoed through him like thunder. Why? Arin whispered, because you do not belong to one world, you are made of many. Arin felt panic rise inside him. What does that mean? Am I not human? The light softened. He saw an image of his mother holding him as a baby, Lena hugging him, his father teaching him to ride a bike, his friends, his childhood, everything that made him him. The voice replied gently, you are human and more. Arin couldn't breathe. He tried to scream, but there was no sound. The visions kept going. Another image flashed, a small glowing seed falling from a collapsing universe, drifting through cosmic winds, entering Earth's atmosphere like a streak of light and entering a newborn child. Arin, his heart pounded. He was not chosen randomly. He was chosen at birth or before. He felt sick. He wanted to rip his hand from the crystal, but the light held him. Another whisper came, one he recognized. Elira's voice. Arin, let it show you the final truth. The white faded. The world reformed. He was back inside the tower's memory pool, but the water was now pitch black, swirling violently. Then he saw the truth. A vision of the future, not predetermined, not fixed, but possible. A future where Arin ran away to Earth. The corruption followed him. It consumed his world. Lena screaming as the sky cracked open, time freezing, everything turning black. Arin dropped to his knees. Stop, please stop. The vision changed again. This time Arin stayed in the Veil realm. He learned how to control the singularity energy inside him. He traveled between worlds. He healed broken timelines. He faced the corruption not as prey but as a rival, a protector, a bridge between worlds. Arin's voice cracked. So if I don't help, everything dies. The crystal didn't answer, but Arin already knew. He squeezed his eyes shut. He finally understood the burden placed on him. He wasn't meant to fight the corruption. He was meant to balance it, hold it back where reality was weak, seal fractures, connect timelines, repair universes, because he belonged to more than one. He was connected to all. The white light slowly faded, releasing its grip. Arin gasped as his body returned, his hands, his breath, his heartbeat. He fell onto the stone floor of the chamber, exhausted and shaking. Elira knelt beside him. Her hand touched his shoulder. Arin, are you all right? Arin didn't answer immediately. He stared at his hands, trembling, glowing faintly with blue energy. Finally, he whispered, I know what I am now. Elira nodded gently, and now you know why the corruption hunts you. Arin looked at her with wet eyes. It wants to use me because I can open worlds. And because only you can close them, Elira said carefully. Arin took a deep, painful breath. Then I have no choice. Elira helped him stand. Yes, she said softly, you finally see your destiny. Arin's voice was quiet but steady. I'm going to stop it. Elira looked proud, a calm, glowing pride that radiated warmth, but Arin didn't feel pride. He felt fear, responsibility, a weight bigger than anything imaginable, but he also felt something new, purpose. He stood taller, fists clenched. This ends now, he whispered. Elira nodded. Then the real war begins.